I like a good surprise. That's a hint. Let's talk about Bridgerton. What is up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to my channel. On Christmas Day, there's a brand new Netflix series, 8 episodes, each episode clocking in around 45 minutes to an hour. This is Bridgerton, based on the romance novels that I, for one, have never read. So, I need you guys in the comments below. Are you familiar with this source material? Were you looking forward to this series? And if you like these Netflix reviews and this kind of show, drop this vid a thumbs up. Let's talk about it. So wealth, lust, and betrayal set in the backdrop of Regency-era England, seen through the eyes of the powerful Bridgerton family. Like I mentioned before, the series is adapted from the romance novels by Julia Quinn, created by Shondaland's own Chris Van Dusen, and television director Julie Ann Robinson directed a few episodes here. Very well-known, well, pretty much all of them are very well-known behind the camera. And the cast, it really starts with these actors and their portrayals of these characters is excellent. Excellent. Not very familiar with many of them, but they all fit the period so well. But something really cool about this show, something completely unexpected, is that it kind of has this modern twist to it. I heard Bridgerton, I kind of thought Dickinson. It's a very different show on Apple+, but that show features a few little modern twists. Now, that show is way more modern than Bridgerton, but Bridgerton still incorporates a few of those elements, especially when you start looking at the music, the score. I was listening, I'm like, wait a second. I'm hearing some familiar pop artists in the background, and then you have an orchestra kicking in. I'm like, this is kind of cool. It's refreshing. And the look of this show is refreshing, from the production design to the costumes and just the way it is filmed. We got a few wide shots here I was pretty mesmerized by. Capturing the time period is very important, but can you deliver on an interesting story? Now, I'm not one that normally sits down and gets extremely excited about a romantic television show or movie. It has to be executed in a way that allows us to care for these characters. And in this case, you have two characters who start out, maybe on the fence about each other, but it slowly grows into something more, albeit both characters have reasons why they can't get together. And that's what makes this relationship interesting. They don't just come together and everything's good and they're happy and life is wonderful. That's not how it works. She's the eldest daughter of this Bridgerton family, the powerful Bridgerton family, and she's making her debut into Regency London's competitive marriage market, kind of capturing the spirit of what life used to be. Now, off the bat, everyone is mesmerized by Daphne in the first episode, and she's trying her best to follow in her parents' footsteps and kind of find the perfect match. Who is the perfect guy? But she has this older brother who, I guess acts like he knows everything and what he truly needs for this family, but at the end of the day, he doesn't know as much as he thinks that he knows. So he's telling her exactly what she can and cannot do, and then you have the Duke of Hastings, aka Simon, who is like the guy, right? He's the bachelor that everybody wants to be with, and from there, you can kind of see this predictability, but what I really liked about this show is we're slowly adding in subplots that become more and more interesting, and by the time you get to the end, you have questions answered. But it also sets itself up for a season 2 quite nicely, trying to tiptoe around spoilers here, and the unanswered questions aren't so bothersome to where you say, well, that was unresolved, and I have to wait too long to season 2. Because you get enough, right? You get enough character development, whether it is Daphne. Penelope was one of my favorite characters. I love her charm, her sense of humor, the fact that she just doesn't quite fit in the way that she wants to. You have a character who wants to go off, have nothing to do with this life, but, this time period kind of restricts certain characters from doing things that they want to do, right? This isn't a show that puts historical accuracy at the forefront. I mean, you can tell that right off the bat with the conversations and the modern music and kind of that twist and flair to it that I thoroughly enjoyed and makes it feel fresh in a way. I believe the creator said something like, Bridgerton is not supposed to be a history lesson. This is a show built for a modern audience that appreciates romance, but I would even go further than that because there are those of us who appreciate a good romantic tale, but we like for there to be a nice little twist or certain things that make the relationship feel real. And even though the show as a whole has the modern twist, so you're like, well, I guess it's not completely accurate, you also have this relationship that you can relate so much to that I absolutely loved. And our two main actors here, who crushed their roles, absolutely crushed them. Regé-Jean Page plays the Duke, and then Phoebe Dynevor, I believe, plays Daphne Bridgerton. And oh my goodness, especially Phoebe, the charm flowing off of this actress. The second she appeared on screen, I'm like, I see it. I can already see it. I'm going to feel for this character. I'm going to feel for everyone involved with this story. And for the most part, you do. I didn't quite get enough from some of these supporting characters. You have the Queen, and then you have a little father-son backstory that we do get a couple of flashbacks for in the first few episodes. And I quite like where that ends up. A little bit of, all right. And these stories, they kind of drive and motivate our characters, push them in the direction that they end up heading, both in opposite ways, right? But at the end of the day, with this romantic relationship and everyone around them pointing them in a different direction, whether it's a supporting mother or a brother who's just like I mean, you're going to do what I want to do and I'm going to get away with it. I'm just like, bro, you calm down. And it's a period piece, but at the same time, because it's so witty and we have some great friendships here, those who kind of keep her on the right track or him on the right track when they tend to become distracted throughout the series. And you have this timeless aspect that applies to this period piece, a period piece that's timeless, but if you can manage to do that, then the show's going to be entertaining at the end of the day. And I was fairly entertained. I binged this quite quickly. For every episode being about an hour long, it didn't really feel like that. And I got a lot from the characters. Again, maybe too much story going on. We have some things that we need to resolve, but they did just enough for me to thoroughly enjoy myself from beginning to end. And now I'm kind of invested in the story, and I want to know what happens next. I also really liked two more things. One, the diversity of the cast. I just really appreciate that and what they managed to do, kind of rounding them out with really talented individuals that I'm going to keep track when it comes to their careers. And then the more passionate and intimate scenes, especially lately. There have been a few series I've watched, and I've just been like, I don't believe that. It's a lack of chemistry, but it's also just kind of the way they go about it. This is much more believable here. I bought into it. I respected it. And again, I like the relationships in the show. So if you guys like this kind of show and you enjoyed Bridgerton, you plan on watching it, let me know all of those things down below. And I appreciate all of your support on this video. Bridgerton is smart, engaging, and an overall win for the genre and for Netflix. I'm going an 80% with my score. Again, this is a recommendation from me. You have a lot to watch on Christmas Day from so many studios, but if you need a good series to binge this weekend and you're a fan of this kind of show, period piece, romance, mystery, drama, not a lot of mystery, but a lot of romance, be sure to check out Bridgerton on Netflix. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday week, and you continue to enjoy your weekend. Stay tuned, because my best and worst of the year is coming soon.